El Yunque National Forest. El Yunque National Forest is a forest in Puerto Rico which is home to the remnants of one of the most active volcanoes in the Cretaceous period and has a deep history dating back to the pre-Columbian era.
El Yunque is remnant of an ancient supervolcano called Hato Puerco that was active during the Cretaceous period. The supervolcano is now extinct, so it is highly unlikely to erupt again. However, it is still extremely important that this volcanic landform is protected for research purposes. There are several supervolcanoes throughout the world, including one in Yellowstone National Park, that could be catastrophic to human civilization. Although they infrequently erupt, supervolcanoes erupt more than 1,000 cubic kilometers of material, which can be detrimental to the climate and ecosystems. So it is important that we research how and when they erupt. Also, the properties of the rocks that make up the supervolcano have unique hardness and chemical properties that are naturally significant and need to be researched. The properties of these rocks affect erosion, which will be discussed in the next slide.
Erosion and research in El Yunque. Due to the tropical climate of Puerto Rico, the relatively flat promontory should be eroding at a fast rate. However, it isn't. Compared to other similar geological features, El Yunque only erodes at a rate of 13 feet every million years, as opposed to the average 250 feet every million years. The heat from within Hato Puerco left a core which is far more resilient to erosion than its surroundings. Since erosion is closely tied to the rainfall in an area, scientists use the change in erosion to measure the effect climate change is having on the forest.
Puerto Rico is one of 5 larger islands in the Caribbean Sea that make up the Greater Antilles. Puerto Rico is located on the Caribbean Plate, bordered by the North American Plate to the north, the South American Plate to the south, and the Cocos Plate to the west. The Caribbean Plate is relatively very small in comparison to the bordering North and South American plates. The Caribbean Plate and the North American Plate are a left lateral transform plate boundary. This area is extremely tectonically active, resulting in earthquakes and tsunamis. Volcanic activity in the Greater Antilles is dated back to have begun in the early to late Cretaceous period. However, the Lesser Antilles volcanic activity is dated back to the Oligocene. The Caribbean Plate itself is believed to be created during the Cenozoic era. However, the formation history is still being debated in the scientific community to this day. The north and southeast boundaries of the Caribbean Plate are known to be strike-slip faults. On the western side of the Caribbean Plate is a subduction zone, where 3 plates, the Cocos, Panama, and North Andean plates, are all converging with the Caribbean Plate.
The rainforests of the world are becoming increasingly uncommon and widespread due to human expansion and climate change. The flora of El Yunque have been historically resilient to hurricanes, but with climate change, hurricanes are becoming more intense and frequent in the Caribbean islands. With higher rainfall and increased winds, the fragile landscapes of the rainforest, along with the exposed peak, are experiencing increasingly greater rates of erosion. The decreasingly common landscape of rainforest in El Yunque is home to 13 species that are on the verge of extinction, including the Puerto Rican parrot, whose habitat is quickly disappearing due to fallen trees where they nest, along with their main food source, fruit. These rainforests must be protected to ensure that their unique ecologic and geologic settings are preserved for study and future generations to enjoy. With El Yunque becoming a national park in Puerto Rico, we can ensure the protection of these lands from human expansion along with upkeep after intense hurricane storms. Establishing El Yunque as a national park will allow for the National Park Service to maintain its upkeep along with other organizations like the Conservation Corps to expand and maintain its trails and ecologic setting.